Pakistan's chairmanship of G77 in China concludes this month. However, it will continue its traditionally active and constructive multilateral diplomacy in advancing the common interests of the Global South at the United Nations. Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari had a very productive visit in interests of the Global South at the United Nations. Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari had a very productive visit to Washington, D.C. He had a busy visit schedule, which included engagements with the administration and members of the U.S. Congress, speaking engagements at two prestigious think tanks, interaction with Pakistani American community leaders and DC-based think tanks community, as well as interviews with leading media outlets. The main purpose of the visit to Washington was to continue discussions on Pakistan-US cooperation in flood relief, rehabilitation, and reconstruction efforts, and enlist US support for the International Conference on Climate Resilient Pakistan. The visit also provided an opportunity to review the entire scope of bilateral relations and discuss important regional and global developments. On the administration side, the Foreign Minister had a comprehensive conversation with the Secretary of State, Blinken, during which both sides covered a wide range of issues of mutual interest and meetings with other senior administration officials, including USAID Administrator Samantha Power, Deputy Secretary of State Wendy Sherman, and Counselor to the Secretary of State Derek Chollet. During the Foreign Minister's last visit to Washington, D.C. in September, a bipartisan group of U.S. senators had invited him to visit again in December to discuss further cooperation on flood relief, rehabilitation, and reconstruction. The Foreign Minister therefore had several important meetings at the U.S. Congress. These included a joint meeting with a bipartisan group of senators, including Republican Senator Lindsey Graham and Democratic Senators Bob Menendez, Jean Shaheen, and Tim Kaine. The Foreign Minister held separate meetings with Senator Chris Van Hollen, Senator Gary Peters, and Senator Ben Ray Lujan, and a joint meeting with Congressman Brad Sherman and Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. He also had a virtual meeting with Congressman Amy Bera, chairperson of the House Subcommittee dealing with Asia. On the think tank side, the Foreign Minister addressed and engaged with scholars and think tank experts at the Heritage Foundation and the Atlantic Council. The Foreign Minister had interactive sessions with the Pakistani American community leaders, representatives of leading think tanks, and journalists from prominent media outlets. The visit that concludes today was another important step towards further strengthening Pakistan's broad-based bilateral ties with the United States. This week, Pakistan will host two important dignitaries from Central Asia. On 22nd to 23rd December 2022, His Excellency Sarek Shumangaren, Deputy Prime Minister for Trade and Integration of Kazakhstan, will lead a high-level delegation for Pakistan-Kazakhstan Intergovernmental Joint Commission, an important mechanism to promote mutually beneficial cooperation. The 11th session of the Commission will be co-chaired by Kazakh Deputy Prime Minister and our Minister for Economic Affairs, Mr. Ayaz Sadiq. The meeting will focus on cooperation in trade and investment, agriculture, energy, transport and industry, science and technology, banking, higher education, and tourism. On 26 December 2022, Deputy Prime Minister for Trade and Investment of the Republic of Uzbekistan, His Excellency Mr. Jamshed Khodayev, will arrive in Islamabad for a two-day bilateral visit. He will lead a high-level delegation which will hold talks on a range of issues, including trade, investment, and connectivity. The visit is taking place in follow-up of the important understandings reached between the President of Uzbekistan and Prime Minister of Pakistan during their meetings held in September 2022 in Uzbekistan and in October 2022 in Kazakhstan. Yesterday, we released a statement expressing our disappointment on the suspension of university and higher education for female students in Afghanistan. Our position on this issue has been clear and consistent. We strongly believe that every